This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Booming development with infrastructure that may not be able to support the growth. RTV6 is digging into those concerns tonight and holding leaders accountable for what happens to your neighborhood.
It is unbelievably bold and brash, and these residents feel targeted by criminals in disguise. The new tactic used by wolves in sheep's clothing.
Never thought that this would happen. It's just shock. It's like a war zone.
Devastation and dozens of lives lost. A pack of tornadoes rips through the Nashville, Tennessee area in the dead of night. How these ravaged communities are trying to recover.
It's supposed to be the day you remember the rest of your life, but not like this. The action against this woman following our Call 6 investigation. Plus,
a Franklin coffee shop is saving families by serving up a cup of joe. Just ahead, we'll tell you why they got started in the first place.
And good evening to you at 7 o'clock. I'm Mark Mullins.
And I'm Amanda Starantino.
Every day, RTV6 commits to the promise of working for you.
Our motivation is getting answers for you, finding out who is responsible for an issue and holding them accountable.
And connecting the dots on patterns that could pop up in your neighborhood, too.
In that vein tonight, RTV6 is working to address the concerns of residents who are worried about a development proposed in their community.
A new apartment complex could be built on High School Road south of Rockville. RTV6's Megan Sanctorum spoke with people living nearby to find out why they're so upset and what they plan to do.
This plot of land is surrounded by homes, and people who live in this neighborhood say they worry about the long-term impact a development like this could have. Initial documents filed with the city show several three-story buildings, a clubhouse, and pool. That's what could be built on this land if a zoning change is approved.
That's a spit in the face to the residents here.
Some neighbors are not happy with the proposal and want to see the land stay as is. One woman tells us she bought her house here in part because it was so quiet and peaceful. She says she often sees wildlife in the area, but she fears that is not the only thing that could be lost if this development moves forward.
It would cause more congestion in the area for traffic. Right now it's already pretty hard to get out onto High School Road. I think that it would be an eyesore here to the neighborhood. This is a very pretty area. You know, it's a desirable area, and I would hate to see the value of our homes that have been here for a long time, you know, to decrease.
According to documents from the city, the developer would keep as many existing trees as possible. But some say that's not enough. They plan to attend the public hearing on the zoning change later this month.
We don't want to disturb what we have going here.
Working for you, Megan Sanctorum, RTV6.
Part of RTV6's commitment to you is to work for a resolution. We will continue to follow the story and let you know if the zoning change is approved. Now, if there's an issue in your community and you feel like no one is listening to your concerns, connect with us by sending a message to workingforyou@rtv6.com, and so we'll see what we can do to get something done.
The video doesn't lie. Even if these thieves are not being honest about who they are, RTV6 is shining a light on a new pattern of crime. Residents just west of downtown in the Central State neighborhood shared their video with us, showing a man dressed in a yellow reflective vest walking off with someone's TV. And it appears the same man was caught on other videos stealing more items from people's porches and homes. One victim of theft says construction workers are common around this newer complex. She says she is not sure if it's a worker or someone masquerading as one, but she and others say they just want the thief caught by police.
Show a presence there and kind of give us some advice and reassure us that they are watching the area and that they hope to catch some of these people, because it's really brazen, some of the acts that they're doing.
We asked IMPD about what is being done. Investigators say all of these cases are being looked into. They are also adding extra patrols to the area to protect homeowners.
We now know at least 25 people were killed by a massive tornado outbreak in Tennessee overnight. Hundreds are now hospitalized. Nearly 50 buildings collapsed. One county outside of Nashville now counts 16 deaths. Scripps reporter Chris Conti has been in Nashville all day talking to people about the destruction and recovery process.
The devastation from last night's tornado here in East Nashville is incredibly profound. You can see how many businesses were impacted. There are houses that are unlivable in this section of town, and people have been out here all day trying to salvage what they can. You can see a guy right here with some pizzas. People have been trying to come together, helping each other get back on their feet. This is going to be an incredibly long recovery process. As you see just how many power poles were snapped under the weight of the wind last night. It was also in this section of Nashville where the most loss of life occurred last night. 2 people died on this side of town, but folks have been over here trying to do their best to help their friends and neighbors get back on their feet as this long, incredibly long recovery process continues. In Nashville, I'm Chris Conti.
Well, Lisa did not battle additional storms during the day today. You're looking at drone video from the Donaldson neighborhood. Now, East Nashville hit hard. Then you go over to Mount Juliet and then to Cooksville. And the question is, was this one, long track tornado or 2 tornadoes? In Donaldson, for example, they've determined that's EF3 damage, winds of 165 miles per hour, but the survey is going to take a while. So if there's a break in the track of the tornado, of the damage path, they may identify it as a separate tornado. So we'll see. There weren't that many reports, but there's extensive damage. So
and we'll get this from the National Weather Service. Correct. And okay.
Yeah, so they've done individual spots, but they got to get the big picture yet. That just takes time, obviously. For us, a beautiful sunset this evening. Temperatures, they've been in the 50s today. Love the orange glow on the horizon. We had that patch of clouds roll through midday. Love that. The sun sets, city lights come up, and the wind calms down a little bit. We had gusts over 40 miles per hour. They're west at 16 now. The gusty nature of the winds will continue to die down, but come back during the day tomorrow. Wind gust forecast through the evening continues to tail off. Won't be as strong overnight, but then will gust to the mid-20s during the day tomorrow. We're under 50 degrees now from Indy north, clinging to 52 in Bloomington, 51 in Terre Haute. Through the evening hours, temperatures with skies clearing and the wind dying down a bit, down to 42 degrees. We'll focus on our chance for a little shower activity, maybe even some snowflakes within the state lines during the day tomorrow. I'll have that timeline coming up.
It's the last thing you need when trying to work out a problem. Paying for counseling to save a marriage or even to overcome addiction can get expensive.
So tonight, Troy Washington is working for you to explain how one local couple is using their business to rescue those in need.
This couple can laugh now, but 25 years ago, the state of their marriage was no laughing matter.
My wife and I have been married, she's going to get mad at me now, 35 years?
Sure.
In fact, addiction and betrayal took Brian and Michelle to the brink of divorce.
We had lots of difficulty in our marriage early on. The first 10 years were pretty rough.
The two fought through, and now they are helping other families find healing. Ironically, their coffee shop has turned into their saving grace.
I have no choice but to give back to other people because of what God was willing to do for me.
Here at Coffee House 5, every cup covers the cost of counseling for someone in need.
I'd started to research the barriers to counseling, and that was the #1 barrier, the cost.
The couple got to work in 2011, making sure nothing keeps families from working it out. Since then, they've opened shops in Greenwood, and now their newest location in Franklin will officially open on Wednesday. The couple has plans to expand eventually. They want to put a counselor in this room to offer more on-site help.
We calculated it before we started here, somewhere in the range of 200,000 plus in terms of value of counseling services that we've provided to the community for free over the last 8 years or so.
Couples never spend a cent, and the Peters family's reward comes from seeing other families find their way out of a dark place into brighter days. Working for you in Franklin, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Now coming up here on RTV6, first it was face masks, then hand sanitizer. Now a new shortage in a much-needed household item, coronavirus and the ripple effects on your life.
Plus, she is accused of leaving desperate brides in the lurch on their wedding days. The makeup artist who has now got the attention of the state of Indiana. Still ahead when the news continues on RTV6. Only on RTV6 News.
Well, there are still no cases of coronavirus in the state of Indiana.
And now the head of the World Health Organization says the death rate of the coronavirus may be close to double what officials originally thought. There are now over 90,000 cases worldwide and more than 3,100 dead. The global death rate is at 3.4%. For comparison, the flu kills less than 1% of those infected. Here in the U.S., the death toll has risen to at least 7 people.
Well, it's clear which household item people don't want to go without if they have to be stuck inside due to coronavirus, and that is toilet paper. Stores across the country are reporting shortages after people went on buying sprees last weekend. Consumer experts say there is no need to panic. There is a steady supply of toilet paper in this country, and you can expect stores will restock quickly. In fact, experts don't expect the virus will disrupt the supply chains of most products, and they advise against hoarding items like this. It can create temporary shortages and keep products from people who really need them, like what we're seeing with face masks and hand sanitizer.
A big night in Democracy 2020. More than a third of all delegates are up for grabs this Super Tuesday. Voters are casting ballots across 14 states in the Democratic primaries. Bernie Sanders is the front runner at this point, despite a newly formed coalition of moderate Democrats backing Joe Biden. And the third candidate, former New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg. The first polls closed just minutes ago. Full Super Tuesday coverage is ahead tonight on RTV6. ABC will bring you the latest updates and what you need to know. RTV6 will also bring you local news and weather updates throughout. That's ahead at 8 o'clock.
Madness in March. The city is about to get a shakeup as college basketball season really gets going. What you can look forward to coming up here.
And in the morning, close to the Michigan state line, some very light snow. We may have a few rain showers down as far as Peru, Kokomo, Marion. Maybe Muncie gets a shower as well. I'll finish that timeline and look ahead coming up.
Big money at Menards.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
From our Call 6 Investigates team, the Attorney General's office has filed a lawsuit against makeup artists accused of leaving brides in limbo on their wedding days.
The lawsuit accusing the wedding makeup artist of representing herself as a licensed cosmetologist when she hasn't been licensed in Indiana for at least 20 years.
Hall's storefront was located on Allisonville Road in Fishers, but it is now closed. As Call 6 Investigates reported, in February of 2019, brides say Karen Hall failed to show up on their wedding days, leaving them in limbo. We also talked to former contractors who worked for Hall but say they never got paid. The state is seeking more than $5,000 in restitution for 6 consumers, including brides, featured in our Call 6 investigation.
The Attorney General is also asking a judge to stop Karen Hall from owning, operating, or managing any Indiana company that offers cosmetology services. Karen Hall did not respond to our requests for an interview. When she showed up to a court hearing, Karen dodged our cameras, eventually emerging with court bailiffs by her side.
There are brides and contractors that say you owe them thousands of dollars. Are you going to pay people back? What do you want to say to the brides that say you canceled on them right before their wedding day? What do you want to say?
Well, Hall then showed our Kara Kenny an obscene gesture before she drove off. Hall filed for bankruptcy just last week, and it's unclear how that will impact the Attorney General's case against her. We are reaching out to Hall's bankruptcy attorney for comment. No attorney is listed for Hall in the state's lawsuit.
A new space is about to make the maternal and fetal care process much smoother for Indiana women with high-risk pregnancies. We got to see part of the Riley Fetal Center today, which is set to open on March 16th. It comes with expanded units that are more intensive, a collaborative workspace for physicians, and its location brings pediatric subspecialists right to the moms and families, so there's no question as to the best course of action.
To have them all at the table at the same time so that family can get all the information that they need to make the best decisions about their pregnancy and their child.
Riley says this unit will serve mothers with high-risk pregnancies. This means everything needed, imaging and specialists, will be brought together and executed in one day, so a plan can be formed for each woman.
We are seeing stunning visuals today showing the damage in Tennessee after last night's severe weather. You're looking at what remains of an elementary and middle school in Wilson County. Tornado activity killed at least 22 people in Tennessee, destroying homes and buildings and leaving thousands without power. These images show the damage to West Wilson Middle and Stoner Creek Elementary schools. Wilson County schools are closed for the rest of the week due to severe weather. Around here, our Kevin Gregory has our Storm Team 6 forecast. And Kevin, we're seeing some of these amazing images coming out, and the more pictures we see, the amount of devastation is just clear as to what happened in Tennessee.
And really the discovery process of the whole night and how it played out, the timeline and how many tornadoes in total continues at this hour. Across central Indiana, beautiful looking sunset this evening as skies cleared. It's also calm down in Tennessee tonight. Our wind is starting to change. 46-mile-per-hour peak gust this afternoon. Winds tonight generally around 20. The gusty nature diminishes. 52 in Bedford, 56 in Sullivan. Temperatures in the morning in the 30s. That's the way we'll start the day. Pick up the timeline, 7 o'clock in the morning. Couple of snow showers, some light snow, Chicago to South Bend. As you come south of that, I think it mixes with some rain close to Peru.